Nate, big year for you last year, career numbers all across the board. So what did you focus on this offseason to come back strong this year?
Um, yeah, a lot of the things I've been working on over the past couple of years have been pretty constant. Anything skating related, obviously want to get bigger, faster, stronger. I think a lot of guys would say the same thing. I think being a big guy, especially for me, I need to make sure I can keep up. So you see some of these younger guys coming in now and they can fly around. I got to make sure I can keep up with them.
Yeah, and there's a lot of competition for this forward group at camp. So how do you feel that training camp has been going for you, and what are you trying to show the coaches?
Camp's been good. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of competition, and I think it's good. Most guys would say it's good. It's nice to have some healthy competition amongst the group and push each other. So I'm fortunate the coaches, they're familiar with me and the way I play, so I trust that. Just keep building off stuff that I've done in the past, and it'll work out.
Now that you have preseason games, how does that really help prepare you for those regular season games? Because you're not playing your teammates. Now you're up against like the Rangers tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge jump from the summer. Like, you can work on your skills and stuff all summer, but I haven't played a position for 6 or 7 months. So getting back into actual game shape, there's nothing like it. So it's been great to get one under my belt and hopefully a couple more.
Special teams were a big focus so far in the past couple of practices. How do you feel the team is adapting to the new ways under the new head coach or assistant coaches?
Good. Sometimes it's good to shake it up. So whether that's personnel or systems or whatever it is, it's the same group but new pieces. So it's a new group, and it's fun to be out there and working on new stuff and communicating with each other.
And you're playing the Rangers tonight. It's a preseason game. It doesn't count technically, but what is it like when you play your rival in any sort of game, especially preseason?
It counts. I think everyone has something different to play for, and everyone's playing for something. So for everyone in here, it's a rivalry game. So we'll treat it like that.
Thank you. I know last season didn't go exactly how you wanted, so how did you spend this offseason preparing for this year?
Obviously to be out for 5 months sucks, but over the summer, I took advantage of the time, got stronger, rehabbing my shoulder and just doing what I can to be ready for this year.
When you're here at training camp, what are you trying to prove to the coaches?
Just play my game and show what I could do to help the team win. I don't think anyone's really seen my best hockey yet. I haven't played much, so just trying to do what I can do to make a good impression here.
When you're at your best, how would you describe your game?
I think I'm moving my feet, playing physical, and when I get a chance to make plays, do that and score and make plays.
And there's a lot of competition at this camp, so what has that experience been like since it is such a deep forward group right now?
Yeah, I think the competition's great. It's making everyone, compete and work extra hard, so it's just going to be better for the team in the end. And, I'm hoping to earn a job here and just help the team win.
You look at special teams, and that's something that Coach Ruff has said could be an option for people to make the team is off their special teams performance. So how have you seen the systems really start to be introduced in practices, and how do you feel about them?
Yeah, obviously whatever role they want me in or they see me in here to help the team, I'm willing to do. So just whatever opportunity I get on the ice, just to do my best, and the rest take care of itself.
It's a preseason game, but you're still playing the Rangers. So what are you expecting tonight out of that matchup?
Yeah, definitely a rival there. So it's gonna be an intense game. Should be going well.
You're one guy who's been on the other side of this rivalry. So what is it like when the Devils and the Rangers face off?
Yeah, obviously I've only known it the other side, and it's always been a battle. Obviously, from a long time, it's been that rivalry. So I'm excited to be on the other side here and just kind of set an example. I think for myself, I want to win these games because leaving the Rangers, you always want to kind of set an example and play your best. So that's what I'm going to come out there and do, and be a little physical and see how things go.
As one of the more veteran players on this team, what have you really seen out of these young players who are fighting for a roster spot in their training camps so far?
Yeah, it's obviously highly competitive, and that's what you want to see in camp. I think everybody's fighting for, if not more minutes, a position on the squad, or just kind of move that pecking order. So I like the intensity, and we're still learning, and I think everybody's open, and I'm just enjoying the camp.
As you're seeing special teams really start to practice more, what are you seeing develop with this team so far?
Yeah, for sure, and that's been an area as of late, and obviously you want I think to win games, your special teams have to be the deciding factor. It's such a tight game. There's such good players. So when you can kind of stop their opposing on the PK or get some goals here and there. So that's what we're trying to do, try to keep working on it and keep getting used to it. And I think the more you do it, the better you're going to be at.
Now that you have a preseason game under your belt, you have another one. How do you feel your conditioning and timing when you're out there has improved?
Yeah, I think more timing. That's a big one. Obviously, there's a difference of being in game shape, so you try to work to that. But that timing where you're not double clutching and you're making quicker plays and just getting more of a feel. It's not like the summer skates. So every game helps, and so I'm looking forward to playing tonight because I'm excited to go to MSG and play, and as well as continue to get better.
Brendan, obviously connection between defensemen is so important. You've played now a little bit with John. Lindy Ruff was talking about how important that connection is, how well you guys sort of played that. Do you feel that, like, when you're going through training camp, when you're going through preseason, that you want to be paired up with that partner immediately?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's such it's really hard to put the word on it, but that chemistry where you can find right off the bat. And I feel that in previous camps I've never really been with one partner this long, and so I've enjoyed it. So like in practice we're together, in games we're together, so we're getting that familiarity with what he likes to do. And obviously I've never played with him coming from Pittsburgh and myself from Carolina, so I think the more that we're together, you get the tendencies, you see what they like to do, and then you feed off of it, and then it becomes that muscle memory, and then you kind of just feed off each other. So that's something I've been really happy with, being able to play with him and be with him on a daily basis, and I'm enjoying it. And I don't know if you guys seen, but we're talking a lot in practices and a lot in games, and just trying to get that camaraderie, and I think it just creates such a good deep pair. Looking back in the day and watching some of these deep pairs that were with each other, like the best deep pairs have been with each other for so long because they know each other, and I think that familiarity is so crucial, and so I just want to keep building that with Johnny, and I think it's been good so far. And there's a lot to go, obviously, but I like where we're going.
What are some of the tendencies that you're realizing in his game that benefit the way you play, right, in terms of developing that chemistry?
Yeah, like he wants to get right in there, and I love that. Like he moves his feet. I mean, speed kills, so he gets in there, he makes good plays. He's a really good player, and he uses his skills like that. The area that I'm probably most impressed is the way he defends without the puck, and there's that willing to want to do that, and I really like that. So you take care of the defense first, and then you go play offense, and you earn your offense that way, and I'm happy with that. And so then you try to work on things like just communication. What do you want, reverses, wall, like however you want to work those things so that you're quick, so you can break out fast, and then you can play in the offensive zone. I know that's where he wants to play, so if we can do that well, then we can help him out and get him his points and everything. But it just starts with playing good defense, and he does that, and that's what I really admire about his game right now.
Was at the beginning of camp, was that something that like Lindy or Ryan McGill said to you, that we're going to keep you together, or is it just sort of ended up that way?
Yeah, I think it's just ended up that way. I'm happy for that. Like I said, in previous years I've kind of bounced around with other D partners trying to figure out that camaraderie, and I've been happy to be with Johnny for the whole camp, and we just want to keep building and getting better, and I feel the better that we are together, the longer we'll stay. So that's something that is kind of in my back of my head, is if we can continue to get better. But it's been fun, and you just we're together again, so it's just keep getting better, and I know we keep talking about that, get better every day, but that's kind of what we're I know it's cliche and everybody keeps saying it, but that's exactly what we want to do, and just get ourselves ready for the first game.
Thank you very much, Brendan.
Okay, Lindy, heading into tonight, are there any changes that we should expect from the morning skate group?
The group that skated there is the one that's going to play. Just waiting on Blackwood. He wasn't feeling well, so that might be a change for us.
When you look at the goaltending position, I know you've split them in the past couple preseason games. How are you going to balance out time again?
Well, we've laid out a schedule, and we laid it out from the start of camp, and the plan was a couple periods for Blackwood and Vanacek these next two games, and then to play full games after that.
When you look at players like Thompson, what do they need to prove in order to gain a forward spot in this group?
Well, Tice has to play a lot like he did in Montreal. Thought he skated well, he defended well. His energy was good inside the game. He had to feel good about the way he played. He got used a lot with with Nico going out, and we were down to 3 centermen. So I thought he showed us exactly what he needed to show us. He needed to play the game with a lot of pace, which he does. Be responsible defensively, be good on face-offs. So I thought he worked at every aspect of the game.
First 2 preseason games, we saw 10 penalty kills, 7 power plays. How do you feel that the team is starting to pick it up now that they've had so many opportunities to practice it in these games?
Well, you know, it's hard because the power plays and the penalty killers are it's a collection of guys that probably won't kill, sometimes won't be on the power play. We haven't got to a true number 1 unit. So you look, we've scored a power play goal. We've given up 1 power play goal. I think overall we're giving some young guys a pretty good look on the power play. And tonight again, you're going to see a unit where a lot of guys that normally you won't see will be on it, and that's the same with the penalty killers.
What's important about giving Dawson reps both at wing and at center?
Just we need the versatility. You take a centerman out. We've got a centerman we can put it back in. With Sharon Govich in the same category. He can drop into the middle. I think it's really important that you have guys that can play both positions. And you get an injury here, or you want to move somebody up the lineup, you can take a guy out and put a guy in.
Talking about centers, do you have an update on how Nico is doing?
Nico has a hamstring strain, and in all likelihood will be reevaluated in like 10 days.
I was talking to Brendan Smith about the fact that he's been paired with John Marino for basically all of camp. It doesn't always pan out that way, where you're sometimes switching D partners, but how important is it for you, with so many new defensemen coming in, to really see these pairs maybe stick together while you can see what chemistry they're developing?
I think it's important. I think we have a lot of time, before preseason. So I think when you look at the reps they get with each other, and then you want to look at other players too. So there's opportunities for other guys to step in, but I think a couple of our guys are real familiar with who they play with.
The type of player that Brendan Smith is, what do you appreciate about that? And maybe did you have that type of player last year for yourself? Just energy, the energy he brings, the tenacity he tries to play with down low, his vocalness in and around the team. I think sometimes we're a little bit of a quiet team, and I think we have a few guys now that have some personality inside there, and some is fun, some is let's hunker down and play better. But we got a guy that's not afraid to say something too. If Mackenzie can't go, would it be VTech, or you're not
really?
really
We'd go
sure?
VTech, yeah.
VTech.
We'd bring him in to play.
Just want to stay on defense for a moment. So much has been talked about the younger players, their opportunity to make that 7th D spot. What is Thomas Hickey doing in your mind?
Well, a guy that we know is a good competitor. He's got a good number of NHL games, and a guy we wanted to take a look at. So we brought him in. Obviously, he's battling at the same time. He's battling against our young D-men that we have high hopes for too. So it's always a tough situation for a player like Thomas, who we know what he can bring. We know the intensity he plays with, and you weigh that versus your Wachacheks and Balls and the guys that are pushing up through the ranks.
There's more time for evaluation for all players, but when do you want to see maybe one of those young guys who are battling for a spot to really step out and step up from the others?
Well,
I guess
I think when you look at the way we've played so far, I think sometimes if you don't notice the defenseman, that's the time that they've stepped out for you. And the good part about the first 2 games, there's been a few games where you don't notice our defensemen. And, I think there was the opening goal last game where they slipped through our D, which a play that we don't want to give up. Those are the things that we've been trying to eliminate from our game, and for the most part have been out. You can see the Islanders made a great play. As a coach, I'd argue positioning wasn't quite good enough.